Thank you, Karine. John, I have two questions. First one on Wagner. What's your assessment on Wagner efficiency, success on the ground? Is Wagner better than the traditional Russian forces?
Well, Wagner would have you believe that. If you listen to Mr. Prigozhin and read his press releases, he would have you believe that he alone is achieving all the military victory in Ukraine. I will say this: they have been largely responsible for and in command of efforts in Bakhmut, in that town north of Bakhmut called Soledar, both mining towns. Go figure. And that has caused, again, consternation with the Russian Defense Ministry. I will also say, and I've said this before, they have made incremental progress in both those areas. Now, we hold today that both towns are still contested. The Ukrainians haven't given them up. But there's no doubt that the Russians have made some incremental progress there. But they have done it at an extraordinary cost. And I'm not talking about Russian soldiers. I'm talking about Wagner convicts. I mean, greater than 90% of the thousands of casualties that Wagner alone, forget the Russian army for a minute, have sustained, have been convicts, have been ex-prisoners that they've just plucked out of jails and put into the fight with little or no training and no organizational capability whatsoever. So it has come at a cost. The last thing I'll say on this is, and I don't want to predict where it's going to go, but even if they are successful in Bakhmut or Soledar, it's not going to strategically change the dynamics on the battlefield. It's not going to set the Ukrainians back to a degree where they're all of a sudden on their back foot and they're losing. Now, obviously, the Ukrainians don't want to give up either town, and who could blame them? They're Ukrainian towns. They should be fighting for them, and we're trying to help them do that. But I think we need to keep in perspective what significance there may be, or in this case may not be, to either town falling. They are both mining towns, gypsum in Bakhmut and salt up in Soledar, and we think that also has a role to play in why Mr. Prigozhin is so adamant on pouring, just literally throwing bodies into a meat grinder to get these two towns. It's very much in keeping with his modus operandi in places like Africa, where he's going after mining rights and mining capabilities.